The SMR is probably one of the harder rifles to use in Black Ops 2. It's basically an inferior version of the FAL, as it is still semi-automatic, but has an even slower fire rate, even higher recoil, but to compensate for that it does have the highest damage in the class. So when you use it you can't be aggressive at all, even with the automatic. There's a like fire attachment where you can go automatic, you still can't be aggressive. Every single rifle beats you at every range except for the long range, and even there snipers will beat you because you will require more than one shot to kill. But I did notice that when you get a headshot it is a one-hit kill, so that's pretty nice. So with the SMR you're going to have to stick to cover quite a lot, and remember if you go onto the objectives make sure that they're absolutely clear and that no one's about to come onto them. Otherwise you're going to die, because the SMR is, unless the enemies aren't trying very hard, the SMR is very very bad at close range and medium range, and only decent at long range, beating most assault rifles but not the sniper rifles. The class is designed around making the aim down sight much easier, and also making it resistive to getting kicked out of cover or found on the map. When you are behind cover and you tend to stay there, people start throwing explosives and flashbangs and so on at you to try and get you out. So flak jacket and tactical mask will help you stay in cover for longer and not have to move for a grenade. Ghosts will make it very hard for the enemies to find you if they have a UAV up, which otherwise would make it very easy to find your hiding place and kill you. Toughness makes sure that you can keep firing an enemy whilst they're firing at you, which is almost always going to happen because it takes so long to kill anyone with the SMR. You might notice that there aren't any equipment slots used and no secondaries used. The reason for not using a secondary is that you are going to be behind cover, so if you run out of bullets you don't need to pull out your secondary, you just duck and reload. And the lethal and tactical grenade isn't very helpful for the SMR because you're going to be so far from the main fight that you won't be able to chuck it far enough to have an effect on the enemy. The attachments are designed around making the SMR easier to handle. The iron sights are pretty hard to use at long range, especially because of all the recoil. So using a reflex sight just makes it easier to find the enemies. And actually you can use any of the optical attachments here, whichever ones you prefer. Although normally I prefer the reflex sight because all the other ones take away visibility of your surroundings, and that's always important to know what's going on. To keep the recoil in check, use foregrip, which basically just reduces the recoil that the SMR has. And of course you're going to have to use select fire. With semi-automatic rifles it's always hard to keep your aim right, because you have to keep pulling the trigger. The select fire equipment lets you go full auto on the SMR, which basically shoots at the fire rate cap you would normally be able to pull the trigger at. So that negates two of the downfalls of the semi-automatic. That is that you may lose your aim because you keep having to pull the trigger, and also you may not be able to pull the trigger fast enough or at the right speed to get to the fire rate cap, because if you pull the trigger at the wrong intervals you're going to shoot much slower. So there you go, that's a class setup for the SMR. Thank you for watching, and until next time.